Hey, before we kick things off here, we want to talk about the beer sponsor of this show. Dave, tell us what that beer sponsor is.
It's Miller Lite, Ed.
It's Miller Lite. Chief, tell us what pairs good with grilling.
A Miller Lite.
Danny, tell us what beer pairs good with everything.
Miller Lite.
You got it. You got it. Listen, it doesn't matter if you're a professional like Dave grilling up those tomahawks, or it doesn't matter if you're grounding burgers like Stephen Che. As long as you got a Miller in your right or left hand, you'll be good to go.
When Steven was cooking those burgers, I'm assuming he didn't have one, right?
He did not.
He did
Yeah,
not.
so if he would have had one, it's like a superpower on the grill. It just automatically you go from just, you're all of a sudden you're Anthony Bourdain on that grill.
I agree. It's the best companion.
He'd at least break even.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the best companion you can have with a Miller Lite in your hand. Grilling doesn't just taste great. It tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/midshow, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. On that note, all right, bang, bang. Welcome to the Mid Show. As you can hear, our good friend White Sox Dave is back in the country. A lot to get to today. Bears have been named for Hard Knocks. That came out after we aired our episode, some Crosstown Classic stuff. But Dave, we obviously got to start with you. How was Germany?
It was incredible. It was amazing. It was Germany amongst many other places.
Oh, give us the full list.
So I started
Countries only.
Started in Munich, Germany, down to Austria for a day, down over to Switzerland for 2, up to France for 2, up to Bastogne, Belgium for 2, and then back to Frankfurt, Germany for 1.
Damn. Passport's loaded up.
It's not. That's one thing that bothers me about the trip. It's like driving state to state.
Yeah, you wanted the little stamps.
I wanted the stamps. Yeah, I wanted, it's a little memento of the
only
trip.
when you go through the customs.
Everyone loves going through customs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was amazing. It was a great trip. Glad I did it. Saw a lot of cool stuff.
If the White Sox went on a winning streak, we were going to make you stay out there so that they could continue to be better.
That would have been fine with me.
All right.
Twist my arm, why don't you?
Yeah.
Danny really missed you.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Did you miss any of us?
No.
Yeah.
No.
What do you say to the people who, one person in particular, there was a stoolie that saw you in Germany that reported back to me.
Really?
Yes.
Who?
A German stoolie.
Not one person said what's up to me out there.
Oh, really?
Not one.
White Sox Dave.
Yeah. It was the guy, he saw you on Memorial Day, the Monday Memorial Day, saying how you were just wishing things could have gone different.
I hate that Eddie has German resources.
Yeah.
What do you mean things could go different?
German intel.
Well, it's just,
So
he was trying to say that you didn't love the troops enough because you were abroad. He was trying to float that narrative.
I was in Bastogne, Belgium.
That's what I told. Hey, Dave, I had your back the whole time.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. A lot of people were saying that you were
another Memorial Day.
The stoolie, my source on the inside, works at a German beer pretzel place in Germany, Munich, right outside Munich, actually. He was telling me that you were at like the historic monuments, which is fucked up and cancelable. Like just saying that you were wishing things could have been different.
I don't know what you're talking about. Things could have been different.
The outcome of the war?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You got me, Ed. Sure do.
Do you wish that we just kept rolling and defeated the Russians at the same time?
Yeah. Just
like what Patton wanted.
He did.
Yeah, they killed him for it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
He died in a car accident.
Yeah, wink, wink.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't you say that every break you watch Band of Brothers?
Every 4th of July and then every Christmas break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whole series?
Twice a year. Whole series.
Wow.
I mean, it's
long?
one
It's
season.
only like 11 hours of TV.
Like freaks and geeks.
Yeah.
But it's worth it every time. Is it not? Every time you do a rewatch, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean it's on so much. It was on both HBO and History Channel, and it's also on Netflix.
On Netflix now, yeah. It's
so
easy access now.
It's very easy access. I used to have the box set. It came in like a tin.
Right, the like metallic, bright, flashy. That's where I first discovered it.
Yeah.
At my old friend Pat.
Great show.
But it was an amazing trip. There's a lot of little intricacies that are different. So when you're driving,
no hash browns at McDonald's. I heard
that was
Number one.
That's insane. What is their side?
Everything. It's just like Pulp Fiction. Everything's a little different.
But you can't not have the hash brown.
They
didn't have hash browns.
Yeah,
that was when we were driving down to Austria. So we were hungover and I needed my fix, and they did. I wanted a hash brown. They didn't have hash browns, but Like, all right, so when you're driving, like there's the roundabouts, which after it takes like a split second of doing it to get used to it because you're like used to just stopping at 4 stop signs and going. The roundabouts, it's better. But when you're stopped at the very front of like an intersection, a bigger intersection where there's not a roundabout, the traffic light is not on the opposite side of the road, so you can just look. It's like directly above you, so you got to look either outside to your left or right, or like straight up. I don't know what the point of that. It's kind of fucking stupid, but they do that every country I went to. But the food better. It's just objectively it's better. No matter where we went, the food was absolutely better.
Yeah.
Fresher. It just is. It's hard to describe until you
less chemicals.
There's none of it.
Yeah.
There is none of it.
Yep.
But it was a great trip.
Nice.
Clean air, clean mountain air.
Yep.
Clean mountain water.
Drinking out of that water. We went hiking in the Alps. Drinking stream water out of the Alps. Just like I still weirdly had the Dominican in my head. Like I'm afraid of water, but once you drink it, you can't even taste it. It's so fresh. You can't even taste it.
It's great.
It's incredible. It was an amazing trip. I recommend it to anybody who can do it.
Do you want to know some of the things that you missed?
Yeah.
While you were
I do.
abroad?
I would love to.
I caught a shark.
I just don't believe this.
That I caught a shark?
Yeah.
I'm going to send it to
this?
Lance right now.
This is the first time I'm hearing this. What do you mean,
Exactly.
caught a
I
shark?
caught a shark in Charleston with Dana. Dana, and jet ski, we all caught a shark.
So is it going to be like a shark this big?
Baby shark. Play baby shark. Alexa.
You be the judge. I just emailed it to you, Lance.
Might have to zoom in. It's so small.
It's not the biggest shark, but it was a fighter, and it took a lot of power to get that thing out of the water.
What do you think? Like it was equal to, like a bass?
The fact that you're even thinking about it tells me this thing was like it was a midget.
Yeah, I wanted you to be like, no.
Did it go through? Hold on.
Oh, weird. It's not going through.
Hold on. Unbelievable.
I want to know who was spying on me in Germany.
It's a completely fabricated story, obviously.
I did have one
I sent it to you, Lance.
one person reach out to me that is a Boston stoolie living in Cologne, Germany, which I did not make it to. That said if I do make it out there, which I would like to do on my next trip out there, hit up Brussels and or not Brussels, Dusseldorf and Cologne.
There it is.
Sound like awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a shark.
You like that? That's a fucking shark, Chief.
You got
More than you've ever caught outdoors.
I would guess that would be the biggest fish I've ever caught.
Yeah, it was fucking hard too, dude.
You reeled it in all yourself?
Yes.
That guy didn't help you?
I mean, once I got it to the surface, he like pulls it out. But yeah,
Yeah,
I got it.
and
To
it-
the
yeah.
surface.
You're more inclined to touch a dead shark than pet a puppy. You should have seen him try to pet a puppy. The paws people were here.
I
today.
saw that. I was looking
Little
for
fingers
it.
on the top of it. I had to like goad him over.
At some point, you guys just got to get over it, and that's just the way I pet. At some point, you just got to realize that's my petting method and
I
accept it.
can't though.
Why?
'Cause it's
What?
such
Just
a
because I don't
weird-
go all palm? I don't want to go all palm. I like finger pets. I like to scratch their head. Look at that shark, Dave. You'd
Yeah,
have been
it's-
scared as fuck.
No, I wouldn't have been. That's a cool shark, though. Did you eat it?
No, we had to throw it back.
You threw it back? That thing looks like it's pretty fucked up there. Is that thing going to be alive?
Yeah, it was alive. Jet ski caught a bigger one. Dana caught a
How
little.
long were you out on the water?
We were out there for like an hour or so.
And you all got one?
Yeah, he said it's pretty easy.
Oh,
Yeah,
You were just shark fishing? That's
Yeah.
what you went out there for?
shark fishing. Yeah, and it was raining.
What did he
Bad
give you a
weather.
size of what you could have caught?
The first one I got, I latched, and he's like, "Dude, that's a big fucker." He knew it just by me, like
how much?
Yeah.
Ball?
it got out.
Yeah.
He's like, "That was a big fucker." Like, I don't know if you can find the video. Go to Dana Beer's YouTube. You can watch the whole thing. You could see the one jet ski caught in comparison. It's towards the end of the video, but it was pretty cool.
Okay.
Good experience.
Yeah.
So you missed that, Dave. I caught a shark.
Nice.
You missed. I paid my penance for.
See, I didn't. I saw this, but go ahead.
I paid my penance for getting wrong the Urlacher thing.
I don't think you did.
Why?
I never agreed to this.
Well, that was the terms.
That wasn't the terms. That was the terms that you set, and I had nothing to do with. I was the one who got inadvertently shot. I wanted to be the one to pull the trigger, and you might have
Dave?
had 12 pounds of clothes on.
But at the same time, we did make sure we got him in the leg.
Yeah.
So it
Thank
was
you.
bearskin. And Danny was doing all the shooting. on the original video. So I do think that was. I don't think that you automatically had the right to shoot him when Danny was.
Thank you, Chief.
Is that Leroy and Lewis?
No, that's just Lewis Barbecue and South Carolina.
How about this, though? Do you know the other fast one he tried to pull?
What's that?
So we did the vegetable draft. Came out the other day. There was a moment in time where Eddie was supposed to be penalized and forfeit a pick. He tried to forfeit the last pick in the vegetable draft and make sure, and as if that was going to be an even trade.
Because he didn't have anything to say anyways.
Right. So
he's always got something up his sleeve.
I drafted right after it. I had something to go. I just wanted to be honorable and move it.
You should. All right. So if you want to be honorable, forfeit your first round pick in the next draft.
I never agreed. This was a personalized penalty.
You never agreed to it?
It was a self-sanctioned penalty. You guys can't help me.
Yeah, but this is like when back in the old days, the NCAA, where it's like, hey, we're self-reporting, and then the NCAA says, thank you very much. Actually, your penalty is not nearly harsh enough. We're going to give you the real penalty. So that's what should happen. You should have to determine the penalty.
You can't tell me how to serve a self-sanctioned punishment. That's just a fact. Danny shot the bullets. Nothing I do is ever good enough.
So if someone
Danny shot the bullets, I took a bullet right to the leg. I have a scar.
I think that one was legit.
So we didn't explain that well. If people go watch that video we did with Urlacher a couple of weeks ago. We did a dozen trivia where I asked Urlacher trivia questions and we got shot by gel blasters if he missed them. And I fucked one up. So I took one to the leg in our last episode of 773 TV. Yeah, that's what you missed. And then, most importantly, Dave, you missed the fact that Jerry Reinsdorf cares more about winning than everybody when it comes to the White Sox baseball.
That made it overseas to me.
Oh, it did?
It made it overseas to me.
Oh, and by Stooley told you?
No, I have access to they have internet in Europe.
Really?
They do. Yeah.
Okay.
I was only 7 hours ahead, so I saw it, and it made me want to vomit.
Did it ruin your day?
I didn't let it ruin my day because it's.
I love the idea of you just like hiking up the Alps, being like, "This fucking Jerry
you're not wrong. You are not wrong." I'm gonna do a deep dive on the entire trip on Zero Block 30 because a lot of that trip was based around the World War II shit I was looking at. But of course, the White Sox and their ineptitude made it overseas, like I said, and I saw that quote. Like I lost love for the Bulls after Derrick Rose couldn't stay healthy. I've said that many times. I used to not miss a Bulls game. Derrick Rose, my absolute favorite athlete to watch on planet Earth. I was emotionally invested in his entire career. I never watched the Bulls enough under the Jim Boylan years to really get a feel for how he was. But all Sox fans that are crazy big Bulls fans as well say the parallels between the two are like they're very similar. Very similar. And just saying that nobody cares. He is active. He actively submarined everything that went on in that rebuild. Now, obviously there was fault many different places. The players never performed, which is fault number one. Bad signings by Hahn and Kenny Williams, fault number two. But Jerry Reinsdorf, buck stops with him as the owner, and he lied to our faces last August when he said he owes it to the fans to like flip this as fast as possible, and then he turns around and guts payroll and puts this product on the field. I just looked, they lost 16-17 now. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to be a White Sox fan. Like I don't want people pulling up to me on the streets and saying, "Hey, White Sox Dave, what are the White Sox?" Like, it's embarrassing how bad this organization is, and baseball as a whole in the city right now is just in the worst spot. But this is the least excited I've been for the Crosstown Cup my entire life. Ever in my entire life. But to say the manager who is just like of course he's got a dog shit roster, no one's going to do anything with this roster, but like to say that nobody cares and even if you do believe that's true, don't be such a fucking idiot to say it out loud to this fan base, because you're just digging yourself. Like, we want your head on a stake like you're Ned Stark right now in Game of Thrones. We want you gone and vanquished from this baseball world of ours. Shut the fuck up, Pedro Griffo. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Shut the fuck up, you goddamn idiot.
He's on the Mount Flushmore, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's shut up. Tell it like it actually is. Tell it like it actually is.
He's worse than Robin at this point?
Yeah, he's worse than Robin. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. This is the worst baseball team in the league by a mile. A mile. It's the worst team in baseball. Do not try to sugarcoat it by saying your owner wants to win more than anybody. I promise you. A stone cold. It's not a fact. It's not. I promise you that this fan base wants to win more than Jerry Reinsdorf does. That is absolutely the truth. Jerry Reinsdorf doesn't. It's profits for him and his investors. Number one. Everything else is just it's complementary to that.
Did you
fuck himself?
You weren't here when he called out the team.
Yeah, and apparently everybody just laughed in his face. From all accounts, I haven't really dug into it, but call out yourself. Point the finger or point the thumb, not the finger.
They have good milkshakes.
And they do, Danny.
Milkshakes are
milkshakes.
I think I'm going Saturday. I'm going to try and grab one.
Are you going with Donnie?
No, why he's gone?
I believe so.
Oh,
it's Red Sox.
It's a wide shirt there.
Is it?
Yeah, I think I'm going.
Should be a big crowd then.
I'm sure it will be.
Yeah,
sure it will be.
Yeah, not good. They disturbed your trip to Germany, Dave. I'm sorry.
Apology accepted, Ed. But it's like nothing is like everyone's talking about like Schultz is doing well in AA. Montgomery had a better May than April. None of it matters because of who's in charge, and it's sad to say, but it's just the God's honest truth.
I don't think anyone disagrees with you.
It's Griffel does.
True.
Like,
sorry.
Even if he is just lying to our faces, like I almost respect that more than if he actually believes it.
You love the way he lies?
I don't love the way he lies, but that's better than being so dumb that you actually believe it.
Maybe he's just like, this is how I get like a kicked upstairs kind of job.
We talked about that last week, where this is definitely a thing where Griffel knows that.
Just get on Jerry's good side.
Yes,
you're set.
That's like the only hope he has to like keep this cushy job going.
I don't think that's. Maybe that is his like last like before he does inevitably get canned. I don't know if it's going to be.
I mean, there's no point to even firing him though.
No, see, I disagree with that. Not that anything would change. Like the roster's not going to magically improve. They're not going to magically start winning a bunch of games in bulk. But if someone is as grossly incompetent as he is at his job, he should be fired. He absolutely should be fired. Mm-hmm. He should be on the unemployment line.
But if he just shut the fuck up, I don't think you would hate him and be screaming for his head.
It's not that he's allowed to be. Like, of course, like he has obligations to do pressers after every game and everything. Mm-hmm. Just say the right thing. Please, God.
Yeah.
Can someone from that fucking team and organization just stop lying to us? We all know when you are lying to us, everything is very apparent. Like Chris Gatson and the team as a whole has talked about transparency a bunch over the last year or so. And they're not transparent. What is transparent is the state of the organization. It is in broad daylight. Everybody knows how things work there because it's easy to read the tea leaves around the organization. And so I'd rather them just tell the truth because we know the truth. So tell it like it is, and that's a good way to start getting on our good side again. To start, not that you will, because you need to win. Yes, just be authentic. Say, you know what, we really fucking suck. I haven't been a good manager. The injuries have compounded too much, but like we haven't gotten better from that. Like it's not one thing they do is like, do I say, hey, that's something a good organization does? Because they don't do anything right.
Do you think you took your vacation too early in the season?
Why do you say that?
Because like you come back and you're still angry. It's the beginning of June. You think it's only going to get worse from here? Like maybe you're
the my anger level won't get any worse or better than this. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Let's pause for a second. When we come back, we'll talk about the first game of the Crosstown Classic. Talk about Vanderhagen razors. Make the switch from cartridge razor to safety razor today with Vanderhagen. Safety razors allow you to get a closer, more comfortable shave. The use of one-blade razors help prevent nicks and cuts. while making your skin feel smoother than ever. The best part is these blades cost as little as $1 a piece and last anywhere from 3 to 5 shaves. This will save you thousands of dollars over the years compared to the cost of cartridge razors. The blades are ice-tempered stainless steel blades from Germany, Dave.
Love that.
And are sharp enough to give you the perfect shave. The handle is made to last a lifetime, so the only recurring purchase you will have is for the blades. I like that. Dave was just out there. You probably had so many people using these Vanderhagen razors that you didn't even realize.
I sure did.
So check out your local Target and Rite Aid today to get yourself a Vanderhagen safety razor. It's that simple. You want a close shave. You want a good shave.
Shape up that beard.
Yeah. Save money. Get a better shave. Do it all with Vanderhagen. One more time, get those at Target or Rite Aid. All right. What, Danny?
I feel like the White Sox are like the Tropics from semi-pro, and the milkshake is like their halftime show. Like they only care about the entertainment aspect, and they're not focused on actually winning. Would you say that's true, Dave? You need someone like Woody to come in and shave them up.
If that's the analogy you'd like to use, then sure.
They're circus acts, right?
It's like off the field, it's a circus. Yeah.
It's a rudderless ship. Actually, no, I take that back because it has a rudder. The rudder just it steers them to the. It intentionally tries to sink the ship.
Put them into the rocks.
Yes.
Did you have any juice?
Davy Jones' locker.
Was there any like enjoyment of being up at 1 point 5-0 in that game?
No.
No.
I mean, I sent that tweet saying like, man, the Cubs are pathetic. That wasn't a troll. I do think the Cubs are it's pathetic what the Cubs are right now. There's no excuse for the Cubs. The Cubs should now obviously like there was growing pains. The Tribune company sold the team. They won the World Series in 2016 and they failed to build on that World Series. There is no reason, and I'm talking about this as a baseball fan, not a White Sox fan right now. There is no reason at all for the Chicago Cubs to not be the Los Angeles Dodgers of the Midwest. And they are not that. They have that baseball Disneyland. I go there. We went there 2 weeks ago or whatever on the rooftops. They have everything at their disposal to steamroll that division. And we're talking about the Milwaukee Brewers, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, Pittsburgh. These are low mid-market teams at best. You should be using your front, just like the White Sox should be, but the Cubs have no excuse for this. They should be using their financial might to bully the rest of that organization every year. And that doesn't necessarily mean go out and sign every single free agent on earth. That means that there's no reason for them to ever be what this team is right now. I look at that team. That is not a good team.
It's not a good team.
That's not a good team.
But like it, I think
it's
hard
underachieving.
Yeah, I don't think it's hard to find fault. I mean, they brought Bellinger back. Swanson hitting 200, half struggle.
What did they add to that? The manager.
Shota.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Bush has kind of fallen off now too. But you're right. They're a team that doesn't have a star, but their floor should be much higher than the way they're playing right now.
Totally.
I think this is their floor, 500 team.
Yeah, it's an ugly 500.
Yeah, it's very ugly. I mean, someone said it yesterday. They called it the Ass Bowl. I think it was. That made me laugh because that's what it was. That was an ass baseball game.
Yeah, I saw some graphic the other day where it was like the last 14 days, like all these offensive statistics for teams, and it was like the Cubs and Sox were like 29th or 30th, and like in everything.
The great Chicago ass off.
Yeah.
But I think that's what we need is a comeback win against a 15-win ball club from across the town.
Yeah, but they had that rain delay walk-off the week before with Dansby Swanson against the Reds. It's like an interdivision game. You thought that maybe that was going to be the moment where they're like, all right, let's fucking go. And they went right back.
See, I would typically agree with what you just said, Ed, but last night I'm watching that game. I watched every pitch last night. That wasn't a team that came back and won. That was a team that lost. The White Sox lost that game. The Cubs didn't really win that game. The Sox lost that game, and it was a race to see who could not lose that game, not to see who could win. It was bad baseball.
Yeah, but as a Cubs fan, from our perspective, there's some encouraging things. Like Ian Happ just needs to get going.
He looked
good last night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If this is some type of turning point where he gets going, then
they need all three of those guys. They need Swanson, Horner, and Happ to all be going. And like if they're all just below average players, then it's like, well, what are we doing here? Because they need, and Seiya, they need they don't have a star to ever carry. They don't have a Juan Soto.
And that's inexcusable to me. That's inexcusable because those stars were available.
Yeah.
They have been available, and there's no I'm going back. Like there was no excuse to me. The Chicago White Sox didn't sign one of Harper or Machado.
Mm-hmm.
The exact same thing can be said about the Cubs.
Yeah,
in that exact race, even.
But I would
with those two players
back then.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they didn't.
Why are you glad they didn't?
Back then?
Yeah,
because they still needed. Like they had to go through that.
Bryce
rebuild.
Harper is still a fucking superstar.
I suppose, but yeah.
And it's a statement, like how, like, and I.
But then it's like if you sign him, you're probably going to end up committing to all three of the other core guys, and that would have been a problem.
Yeah, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
Like at that moment, I don't remember being clamoring for that to happen.
Yeah.
Because we were still.
You get the best players when you can.
Yeah,
and
but we were still in the hope that
to.
these guys were going to bounce back. Like we were so caught up in 16 where it's like they can't be. And to be fair, they still made the playoffs. They still made the CS, and they still had good years. But we thought that the down years were just a drop in the bucket. Like everything would
right.
be. Would
no,
of
course there's nuance and gray area in that, but like it all goes back to my point is it's 2024. The World Series was 8 years ago, and they haven't been that. Like they've had the years like the CS. They've had those. It should not be like that for the Chicago Cubs. It should not be that for the Chicago Cubs.
But like if we're
they need to be held to the highest of standards, and we as fans need to hold all our teams, especially in baseball where it's the unfair sport, to the highest of standards. And like over the last couple of years, I have a bad taste in my mouth about now I'm not talking about the game of baseball, I'm talking about Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. It's ugly to me that these guys, like, I'm in Europe, okay? I'm surrounded by a bunch of soccer fans, and I'm striking up. They all speak better English than I do out there. I'm talking, and they don't understand like how our teams, like competition isn't necessarily at the forefront.
All about money.
It's all about money, and like they're like, get rid of these teams, like relegate. I'm like, you know what? This is kind of a new concept to me because I don't follow soccer, but I'm at the point like, figure a new system out so I can where it's balls to the wall to win as many games as possible, and it's not like that in baseball.
Were you venting with German fans about the White Sox?
Some, yeah, amongst other things.
God, I would have loved to see that. Do you imagine that? Dave just sitting over around a big bowl of sauerkraut.
Reinsdorf kind of sounds like a German name too.
Yeah. Reinsdorf.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
The sauerkraut out there's it's
really? I fucking
good.
hate sauerkraut.
It's either you like it or hate it, I think.
It's just one of those
I don't
things
think there's much in between, but
turns my stomach.
It's supposed to be good for your stomach.
Yeah, I thought it was like very good for your gut.
Yeah.
Well, I'm figuratively.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, I'm not like
I'm a huge sauerkraut fan.
Really?
Sauerkraut, hell
You're a
yeah.
weird fuck.
A sauerkraut pierogi? Dude, that's my shit.
This guy's
Hell yeah.
olives is his favorite.
No,
food.
sauerkraut. I like sauerkraut, like American sauerkraut too.
Yeah, but
It's not like holy shit, that's good, but like if it's presented to me, I'll eat it.
this guy loves
Olives
olives.
number one. Hell yeah, number one. Olives.
Which
So-
kind? I don't like black olives.
No, I would say like the manzanilla ones, the ones, or even like the Kalamata, like the ones you get on the charcuterie board.
He's
Like
bearing the
green
lead.
olives.
He likes them stuffed with blue cheese crumbles too.
No, that's how you kill them. No, that's how you
No,
throw it in the
I-
olive,
that's-
is
I
you put
like
blue
that.
cheese in it.
I like in a martini. I think that's delicious.
I think dirty martinis suck too.
I
don't really
I
like
like them
martinis.
fucking filthy dirty. That's how I get my martini.
Really?
As filthy as possible. I want to taste straight olive juice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you
Gross.
think about that?
I don't like it.
Why do you say that's gross?
I'm not a martini guy. I've tried. It's like
Filthy, dirty, chain you up in the bed type of thing. White Sox Dave.
Exactly. Raunchy.
There we go. Attaboy.
They don't have those in well, they have them. It's olive juice and vodka, but if you like ask for a martini, they like look at you too like what?
that was the thing in England too, where it was like no one really does. Everyone's just drinking beers.
Yeah, it's and that was sweet. Like just walking around town walk up to a bodega, get a beer, walk around town.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah. The
Still
beer
got
was
men
all
over
great.
there.
What's that?
Still got men over there.
Yeah. Stand for something.
Mm-hmm. They do think it is like they think our diet is just appalling.
It is.
They're like they don't really. You can drink soda or pop out there, but no one touches it
Does
really.
it? Yeah.
They don't really, I mean, at least in my experience in multiple countries, breakfast is like, you might get a pastry maybe, but like to sit and eat a skillet of food like you or I would, like.
I saw something recently where it was like the breakfast was kind of like invented over here, like the way that we think of it, and it was just because they wanted to sell more pork product.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just little intricacies that are.
Yeah, but then you could say the same thing there. Like,
Have you been to Europe?
They're pastry people. Like they probably.
But they have different types of flour.
That's weird to a lot of people here to get a pastry.
No,
pastry
pastries
and
are
coffee.
pretty. Yeah.
You would never do that.
I wouldn't because,
That's what
but
I'm
I
saying.
might do it. I'm more inclined to do it over there because their flour is not all filled with glyphosate and gluten and all this. You know, it's a different process.
Danny, defend big glyphosate.
What do you got against glyphosate,
Isn't
dude?
that the shit that's the pesticide, right?
Yeah.
Is our food all doused in that?
Yeah, all of our wheat. They started doing this later, like 2007, I think. They started spraying the crops later in the season to dry it out because if it rains right before the harvest, then it molds and you can't use it. So they spray it, cover it. So this was the first time ever. It was like 2007 where like we started like eating glyphosate because before that they sprayed at the beginning of the season and by the time you harvest it'd be all washed off.
I like pesticides. They're all my favorite foods.
Yeah.
Probably how you got leukemia, Danny.
Add some flavor.
We're eating the same thing.
I'm sure I'm well on my way. All of us probably are, and that's not like I swear to God,
Young people with cancers is higher than ever.
it's higher than for sure. I believe that, but like
It's a fucking genetic law. That's all it is.
I went to a Swiss produce mart, and I'm talking this place was about maybe 3 times the size of this recording studio. It was small.
It's a genetic lottery.
And you can get like Trix or Cinnamon Toast Crunch or whatever, like anywhere. But they have a big ass warning on the cereal boxes in Switzerland saying it's like their USDA warning saying like, hey, just so you know, this is American food, like eat with precaution.
Like how Mexico puts like a picture of a dead baby on a pack of cigarettes. Yeah. Like they just get very graphic and warn you off the bat.
But it honestly, it turns you off to how we consume food over here. It's very different. And
yeah,
maybe things would have been different for me. I would have never got to meet Steve Carell if I just laid off on the pesticides.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that if like we reached out to Steve Carell and told him he didn't die, that he'd be offended and take back that Make-A-Wish?
Well, we interviewed Craig Robinson.
We should.
And I met him too.
Yeah.
Look, and the guidelines are got to be diagnosed with terminal disease under 17.
But it wasn't terminal.
It was. Cancer's terminal, brother.
Not all cancers.
It's under definition. It is.
I'm glad you lived, Danny.
Yeah, I'm glad you lived, but
Funny way of showing it, Dave.
I'm just poking holes in the whole story here.
You're glad he lived.
No,
You
I mean,
wish he
people-
didn't have that one day of joy while he was going through cancer.
I think that that joy was held under false pretenses.
People with like Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, even they get it, but it's like a lottery for them. So only
Really?
a couple get picked a year
No shit.
because it is again terminal. It's life shortening,
But
life threatening.
am I going to sound like an idiot? Down syndrome is not terminal.
You have a shorter lifespan though, but like you might not. You can go your whole life without getting pulled for the Make-A-Wish, just like a lottery.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna focus on all the Europe shit because a lot of the stuff was my sister's husband's uncle, a guy I've never met before. He's technically my uncle by marriage, I guess, but he is a history professor, and when school's out in the summer, he does guided tours throughout Europe for World War II, museums and shit. And so it was him following me, like it was me following him around most of the time. And he's an encyclopedia of knowledge. Bucket list shit for anybody who can do it. Tune into Zero Block 30. I'm gonna go well in depth on that later this week.
Did you bring home any trinkets?
Oh, boy.
So I'm at the Band of Brothers Museum. It's a museum solely dedicated not just to the Battle of the Bulge, just 101st Airborne. And like you walk out into the Ardennes forest, and we did this. Not that we went with like a metal detector, but they're still finding like bullet casings and shit out there. I mean, human skeleton remains, everything. And they had a glass case of like you could buy a magazine, like a loaded magazine for like $50 or 50 euros out there, about $50. And I wanted to buy a grenade, but I didn't know how I was going to get it through TSA or anything. So no, I didn't, but that would have been a sweet little
trinket.
to bring back.
Mm-hmm.
No souvenirs for the boys. What the fuck?
I do. I have French cheese. I'm going to bring. I know you'll like it. Do you like super garlicky and like weird cheeses. Will you try it?
I would definitely try any type of cheese for the most part.
Oh, I spent $100 on this cheese.
How big is the wheel?
It's sliced. The wheel was like gigantic.
I mean, you're not going to give it to me, so I'm not.
I'm going to bring it in and we're all going to try it.
Yeah, just like the Taylor ham, Dave.
I have so much cheese that I couldn't possibly eat it before I bring it in. I'll bring it in tomorrow.
You had a whole Taylor ham that you put on a conveyor belt at a security line, and you took a picture of it and you tweeted at me saying, I hope you're hungry. Yeah, we got Taylor ham coming for you. And then I was like, hey, Dave, I just realized it's been a month. I haven't seen your Taylor ham. Ed, I ate it.
That was Taylor ham. I couldn't give that up. But that's also something you can easy access. This is
just
like
keep it for the sleepover movie watch that we're doing at your place.
okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I like that idea.
But yeah, it's.
I almost feel like we should watch Top Gun because now you're back in America. You got to do some American
That's true.
shit. Yeah,
That's right. We gotta watch that movie. Maybe we'll do for next Friday, 773. Maybe we'll do the cooking thing.
Cooking and movie party at Dave's house.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I
Next
like
week
that.
We'll do it sometime.
Grilled cheeses with this fancy French cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
That'd be. You don't want to do grilled cheese with those.
No.
These are. I mean, that's like a American craft single. That's what you would do with it. Like these are nice.
You could still make it. Well,
yeah, you
all right.
could. You could. We'll figure out how to properly consume the cheese, but this cheese will blow your fucking dick off.
All right.
It's amazing. It's fucking amazing. And I brought home like a shit ton of dried out sausages.
Nice. I love cheese.
Yeah.
So,
Any other Cub Sox you want to get to before we move it over to Hard Knocks / I think we should talk about the Chicago Sky.
yeah.
So
got it.
anything else, Cub Sox?
Most
We have
interesting
to.
team in town.
I think we should. I think it's a big story. We have to cover
sure.
it.
You might need a Sky correspondent at this
We
point.
might need a Sky correspondent. You're right, Danny. You're right.
Dave, you're in the market for a new team.
It's not going to be me.
All right.
I'll watch the best basketball players play basketball.
Stories, dude.
Going back, the Cubs are just to put a bow on the Cubs. It's incredibly disappointing how much they've underachieved.
The May was bad.
Yeah.
May was very, very bad.
Incredibly disappointing because they weathered the April storm. They played
Right.
such a tough schedule. Not even weathered it. They fucking kicked that storm.
Yeah, they kicked ass.
And then they come in May and just kind of
I thought the months would be flipped. I thought there'd be 500 in April and then
Start to.
yeah.
it's just incredibly disappointing.
Yeah.
So long season, still a lot of ways to go. Still got 100 games to play, but
I just
needed more.
I still feel like there's no way Swanson, Horner, Happ, Seiya hasn't, he's been hurt. I just feel like they can't be this bad the whole year. Like at some point, they might just all click at the same time, and then the Cubs will be fine.
Madrigal? Will that happen with him?
No.
That guy, man, I almost feel bad for him.
I don't want to say I was right, but I was very right on
You were right, Dave. He was right.
Is
He
that-
hated the draft pick.
the moment.
That might be the big. I mean, low key, is that one of the bigger blemishes on Rick's record?
No,
Well, he had 2 top 5 picks that he
yeah,
blew.
Vaughn has been horrific.
Yeah,
And I mean, to make things fair, I was unbelievably wrong on him. I thought he was going to be like a Paul Goldschmidt type hitter.
Yeah.
And he is not. He is not. He is bad. But yeah, that's too. You can't fuck up top 5.
It just seems like every time, like all their guys, they look great on their way up to the bigs. They usually have a pretty decent rookie year, and then they all fall off a cliff. So it's like, what the fuck? Like that is kind of unheard of to have Eloy, Moncada, all these guys have good initial starts and then get worse. They all just got terrible.
The worst part about last night's game to me was that obviously Robert, first game back, he went yard, looked good. Timing looked like he hadn't skipped a beat really. When he's healthy, is a superstar, and he's the one exception to everything that you had just said. And I know that, and same goes with Crochet. Crochet's been fucking outstanding, and Feedy, but not that he was part of the core. But Crochet and Robert, they're gone.
Yeah.
You know it. It's like, what? Why? I love rooting for Luis Robert. He's an unbelievable talent, has it all. But you know that he is showcasing himself so Chris Getz can fucking trade him. And That kills me. It's like, what are we talking? Eventually, you guys are going to start being good. That's a good start right there. That's a good start.
Still pretty young.
Dylan Cease was a good start. Eric Feedy's a good start.
Yeah.
Like, Crochet.
All right, let's get over to some more exciting stuff like Hard Knocks. Before we do, I want to talk about ChevyDriveChicago.com. Americana.
Welcome back.
Summer road trip season, White Sox, Dave. You guys got any summer road trips planned?
Nothing concrete. I do want to do like a lake weekend somewhere. I have a friend who did it in Iowa as opposed to Wisconsin. He's like, there's all kinds of great lakes in Iowa, which was, sort of news to me when I found that out. So I'm going to do something like that. I do want to go with Dave to go see our horses in Kentucky.
Hey, you're going to take your Blazer, aren't you?
Of course.
There you go. You're going to take that Blazer, and you guys should all look into Chevy's SUV lineup and check out that new Silverado truck. It has all the space you need to comfortably get to where you're going. ChevyDriveChicago.com has the latest offers on all vehicles, and they can help you find your local Chevy dealer. Every Chevy is the number one pick. ChevyDriveChicago.com is the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. So go to ChevyDriveChicago.com to learn more and make sure this summer you're riding in style with Chevy. That Traverse, you want your people to be comfortable. You love those captain seats. I love the Traverse.
Mm-hmm.
Traverse is a great car.
Yep.
And the whole fleet is good stuff. All right, boys, we got it. The Chicago Bears will be on Hard Knocks. Never thought we'd see the fucking day, to be quite honest with you.
At least not under these circumstances. I think the cookie would have crumbled there eventually, but chances are it would have been in a year where we, like prior to the season, we have our hopes like set here, but in the back of our heads, we know it's not a very good team. Not to say that this team is like hell-bent on a Super Bowl. However, everything seems to be pointing upwards. The roster is vibrant with personalities. It's a perfect storm for what should be a perfect season of Hard Knocks, and I cannot wait personally.
I also, even if you're not a Bears fan, I think that this is probably the most compelling team to have.
Absolutely.
Star quarterback, another rookie wide receiver who seems like a good dude.
The punter from fucking
Australian punter. You got, the stadium drama I'm sure they'll get into. They'll probably go to City Hall or whatever. Like there's a lot of storylines and a lot of interest around this team, and it's a major market. I think even if you take all your Bears fandom away, it's still the number one team most neutral fans would want for Hard Knocks.
I don't know if number team, but definitely up there. You have to go through all the rosters, but it's totally top.
No, but there's only a certain amount of teams that are quote unquote eligible.
There's three, right?
So it's always like it was like Broncos,
Jets. I want to say,
but they just had it.
I know, but I think they were eligible.
Okay.
They've done back to back before.
Have they? Yeah, I know they used to they started off. It was always the Cowboys, and then they started branching off to other teams. So yeah, I think the Bears have. I'm very curious, and and it's like there's something that you always find a guy in Hard Knocks that you're like, yeah, I love this guy. I want him to make the team. Now it's like, so we're gonna have a means to fall in love deeper with our own team, which is, I don't know, that's exciting too.
It is. You're right. There's a lot of things I'm so interested to see play out. It's either going to make people like, I don't think there's going to be a middle ground on Caleb Williams after Hard Knocks. Not for Bears fans. We're all in.
Yeah.
I'm saying for the country.
You think he's going to be polarizing still?
I don't think he will be.
Like
I think people's minds are made up. That's what I'm saying. So I think they're going to be like, all right, I like this.
I disagree with that. People, I mean, look, in our own fan base, people were trying to tear him down like he was going to be some locker room cancer, and that's already, and the draft was a month ago, if that.
Yeah, but those people
already
the stories just close enough.
I think those people just went underground like the cicadas.
Yeah.
And they'll, as soon as the waters get a little rocky,
which will happen.
They follow casually. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the national people will follow his team casually like they have. And he's gonna do things that he might do things that people they're gonna be like, oh, I fucking hate this.
Did you see any negativity around his appearance at Old Crow? Because I didn't.
I didn't look too much into it. But
okay.
Why would there be?
I don't know. Like, hey, people.
Oh, focus on football or
people
something like that.
People nitpick everything.
Yeah.
But it's, and they're chanting MVP and all this stuff, and he's eating it up and loving it. And I was wondering if people were like, oh, if it's like, this guy's cocky, this guy's that, whatever they would say.
All of this is fine so long as he performs.
Correct.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, don't blame him.
Right.
Us fans.
Sorry, we fell in love with you.
Well, yeah, but don't blame him that us fans were chanting MVP.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I like it. Like, we're excited.
Yeah, and he's not shying away from it either.
Yeah, are both of those things true? No.
Right.
Whatever. We're having fun in fucking June.
Right. The weather's nice. We're having a few beers at Old Crow.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's it.
There's our guy.
Not an MVP, and Green Bay doesn't suck. They own our ass right now.
Yeah.
So I hope there's a day where both of those things are true, And then it's not like, all right, look at these fucking goons. And it's like, no, they're
No.
they're excited and they're
Yeah.
a legitimate team.
And this is such a meatball thing. I can't help it. I love when the athletes like embrace the city.
Yes.
You know, when they're in the places that I know and that I'll go to, and they're doing all the same things that I would, and when they're at the Hawks games or the Cubs game, like I love that. So I hope that he really leans into it, because this city it's there for the taking. Like, we haven't had, like, hockey's a little different because it's so niche, but Rose captured the city, but it was so short lived. We haven't had like a national hero type guy since Jordan. Like, it's on that type of a scale. So the runway is clear, for him to be like that kind of, Mount Rushmore guy, because we've never had a quarterback, and so I hope that he really leans into the city, like gets like that at like the play on the field is going to be the most important thing. But if you want to be like a true I'm a Chicago guy, you have to do kind of the stuff that he's.
Yeah, but that's the crazy thing is it's like not going to take a whole lot to get there.
True. Like what? No one's ever. I think Eric Kramer was the closest ever to 4,000 yards, and like it was a 95, and he threw for like 3.9 something. So, or 3.8 something. So yeah, like there's it's a long way to go, but I like it better that he's doing some summertime activities in Chicago as opposed to like I'm heading back to DC, and like seems like he's embracing the city.
Yeah, it's one of those things too where like I said, just never thought I'd see the day where a George McCaskey owned franchise was on Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
and I need
a day about him too. On Hard Knocks.
George, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
and it's one of those things too where I don't need Hard Knocks to love the Bears anymore.
But it helps.
But it's cool.
Yeah,
and like I'm excited for it.
Dave, did you see that story about George while you were gone?
The umpire?
Yeah. And he does, I guess he refs soccer too. And it's way out in Sycamore, which is sort of by my parents.
It's by DeKalb, yeah.
Yeah, well, because they have the prairie path. So I've ridden my bike from my parents' house to the Sycamore Speedway. Shot. Yeah, it's literally a straight shot. I think that's northwest, whatever. And it's just like the fact that he's just out there skipping days of the draft to go like umpire a high school baseball
which
game.
is the last thing I like it.
He doesn't have a kid on the team.
That's just kind of, he does it for the love of the game. Some guys just like umping. I mean,
you just love sports.
I'm not going to say I'd go, but I enjoyed when I umpired high school games. It's fun. I liked it.
No, it's very cool.
Yeah,
you need people like that who are passionate about sports.
But it's also he's so passionate about sports, but also seemingly very hands off with the Bears.
What I read is,
but you don't
one of the other
on the team.
One of the coaches told him that they drafted Rome in the middle of the game. Is that correct?
That was in the article.
That was It's like, hey, you guys just drafted Rome.
Yeah,
Dunze. I think it's great. I played against his
but I want to know
grandson in college.
Really, I want to know more about him. That's my point.
We'll see. I'm very excited. It's gonna be very interesting TV, I believe.
Across the division, it appears that Justin Jefferson is going to be in our midst for a long time.
Good.
So.
Yeah.
I
don't know if I would say good.
No, I would not say good.
No,
I would say he got 4 years, $140 million. He's worth every penny.
Obviously, it makes
a fucking stud. He's the best wide receiver in football.
It makes beating the Vikings all that more difficult moving forward. Not that he hasn't been there, but I'm at the point where I want, and this goes for baseball and the Cubs too. I want that division to be a gutter war, and I want the Bears to win it, but like I don't want them to be the product of winning a bad division, if that makes sense. And then
I don't want a bad division.
And that goes through the entirety.
You want a baseball dweller that you want to beat up twice a year.
I would love a bad division. I would love it if it was like the Patriots
awesome would it
they were on their run and they were.
How awesome would it be to beat the Packers in the NFC Championship game?
It'd be great.
It would be awesome. And if
I'd rather beat them like week 18 and the Bears have a bye and the Packers are sitting at home.
Both would be excellent.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I do think that it is fair to say that it would be a lot of fun if both teams were good at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's never been that way.
Yeah, it's never really happened.
And
Like,
and then,
was
like,
it 12 was the NFC Championship?
when he hurt his thumb or finger or whatever.
I think it
Cutler.
was his knee.
I thought he sprained his finger.
No, it was his knee.
Or whatever it was.
I remember when he was out like on vacation with Kristen Cavallari like a week later, and he was walking without like crutches. Everyone's like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
He hurt his thumb against the Chargers.
Yeah, he broke his thumb. That was mid-season. Yeah.
But like my life dream is to see a White Sox Cubs World Series.
Yeah.
Either way, I wouldn't make it out alive, but like that is, and that would be it can't happen with the Bears and Packers, but an NFC Championship where the Bears go to the Super Bowl by beating the Packers, that would be fucking amazing.
Be sick.
Yeah.
That's my
It
point
was
when
not
I
sick
say
the
that.
last time.
Obviously, if the Bears just steamroll the division and the rest of the division sucks, that's also great.
Yeah,
but like,
I just want to win playoff games. I want to make the playoffs. I want to win playoff games. I want to get to the Super Bowl. I don't want to win a Super Bowl.
how many playoff games? They won 2 playoff games in our lives. Is that it? Well,
In our lives?
since we can remember.
No, because
more
more
than
than
that.
that.
The NFC. Oh no, I'm sorry. So it'd be the 2. They beat the Saints and then
Seahawks in
the
06.
the Saints and Seahawks, and then
I think they beat the Seahawks again.
Beat the
right?
Seahawks again.
Yeah.
and then lost to the Packers.
Yep.
So 3 playoff wins. Am I wrong there?
Was there? Yeah, because they lost
Lost
the
the Eagles in 01.
Lost the Eagles.
Deuce Staley tore them apart.
Yeah, scumbag Hugh Douglas.
Yeah.
Cheap shot at Jim
Dude, that
McMahon.
you might be right. It might just be the 3. What would be a 4th? They might have won one when
Yeah, you can just say since 2000. That's fine. Yeah, 3
3.
wins.
Yeah.
which is I think
Lost to the Panthers.
Yep, lost
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Steve
and
Smith Sr.
Steve Smith was
tore apart,
they like just
Peanut.
never adjusted to that.
Peanut Tillman had an unbelievably good career, but like he looks in the rearview mirror when he's driving down like 94.
But like
And he'll
that
see,
Yeah, hey, Dave.
he'll see Steve Smith in that rear.
but they lined him up.
I'd like to
everywhere,
say we have 3 playoff wins since 2000. I'll take a playoff win against anyone, not just the
Yeah.
Packers. So I'll say that.
I'm holding my teams to the highest of standards. I'm done being like, if playoffs is not.
Yeah, but you got to crawl before you walk, Dave. Got to crawl before you walk. That's it. All right, let's end here with the Sky. We have one of the most interesting women's basketball teams.
though. Villains.
Yeah, villains. All right, if you embrace them, I know Dave doesn't care.
I haven't embraced them, but it's to the point now where if I'm flipping around and they're on, I'll probably stop on it just to check it out. But I can't say that like I know where they are in the standings, or I know anybody more than Angel Reese and Kennedy, what's her face, who pushed down.
Kennedy.
Is it Kennedy or Kennedy?
Kennedy.
I think it's Kennedy.
It's probably Kennedy.
Yeah,
You're probably
Spelled
right.
like Kennedy, though.
you're right.
Spelled like
Yeah. So I will never. I'm not gonna like. I did this tweet the other day where I was like, how many days have been since a Chicago team advanced in the playoffs? And then a bunch of people were like, "Oh, you're forgetting about the Sky Championship in 21." It's like, look, if the Sky or the Fire or somebody out, like, good for them. Like, I don't count them. I don't think of them in the same way I think of like the Big 5 teams.
That makes you a sexist.
Because I'd be anti-MLS too. Those are men's.
What about the Red Stars?
I don't know. I don't know anything about them.
So she made the comment that it's not just Caitlin Clark why people are watching. I'm part of the reason too. And people are obviously coming at her hard for that. And obviously Caitlin Clark is the fucking engine. She's the transmission.
Yeah.
She's,
The wheels.
she's the wheels. She's the axle. But at the same time, Angel Reese has got to be a part on that car. She was a side, a mirror or whatever.
Look, if it was just like a Caitlin Clark parade every time, like and you didn't have this controversy, people wouldn't care as much. So the controversies and the rivalries and the physicality, all that's good for the WNBA. Like if it's just like, oh, Caitlin Clark's in Chicago, she's in Minnesota, she's in Connecticut playing all these WNBA games, I don't think anybody would really care. But it's the fact that people hate her, that her peers hate her, even though like she's going to make them so much more money. That to me is compelling. So did you see the foul?
Yeah.
Eddie was like all up in arms about that, saying it was bad sportsmanship, and like we had to have a big debate about it.
I wasn't. Don't listen. This is slander.
So
Talk to me.
We'll have
Talk to
to
me.
pull like he
This
did.
is classic slander. Is that what I said, Lance?
Lance,
Nah.
tell the truth.
A little bit. You kind of said that a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I did not pull the tape. I did not say anything with the foul. I did not say anything.
Maybe not directed to the foul. That call.
It was the conversation was about sportsmanship at large. It was nothing about.
And I said I didn't have a problem with knocking Caitlin Clark down.
I said that too.
You did.
No, I didn't. Go run the tape. You're lying right now.
I don't think
you're lying or you're misremembering.
I might be misremembering.
You're 100% misremembering.
But you were on the other side of that argument.
No, I was not. I literally said I don't care about that. It's fucking professional level sports. None of that shit matters. I said youth sports.
I will have to go back and pull the tape because that's.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, I think Eddie's right. You did.
Thank you.
Your argument was always youth.
It's about youth sports. It was nothing about professional.
Then how did that even get brought
up? Don't get me started.
What?
I would have no problem with that in youth sports.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not talking little league or t-ball or nothing. I'm talking like at a competitive high school level or something like.
What if it's?
That was my point. Youth ball and TV.
Yeah. What if you're 12? You're not high school. You're 12.
12. You playing competitive?
Yeah. Just keep going to the bar where it's like.
I'm discovering where the bar is. Where do you think the bar is? When you can start being a prick out there, and it's acceptable.
I would say
if you're paying to travel like exceptional amount of money, then and you're trying to win.
I would say like 6th grade and below.
So what's that? When are
so like
12?
junior high?
12 years old is 6th grade.
Okay.
Junior high and like junior high, like I'm not even giving the full break. I'm not even the full green light. But
if it's like
more leeway,
if it's like sign up baseball or soccer, whatever, basketball, and it's dad's coaching, and that's one thing. But if it's competitive sports and my kid did that out of competitiveness because the other person was being a prick and he was like, hey, that's not going to fly on this court, I would not have a problem with that as a father.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm going to get shit on for that.
I don't disagree with that. There's like I don't know, like I'm
not saying hurt him, I'm saying send a
I've
little
got
tone.
I've got nephew.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I've got nephews and stuff that are playing travel sports at younger ages than this. And I watch it and it's just like, yeah, like you should be a little bit more of a prick. Like even at that age, like you
got to learn somewhere.
And I think it's one of those things where you're just born that way.
Yeah, you're wired for
yeah,
sure. Yeah,
like
yeah.
Go listen to yesterday's dog walk. We get into it a lot more than this. My point was, at a youthful age, I think it's important to like teach kids manners and shit like that. That was all I was saying. Some type of decorum, so they don't turn out and use non-sport situations as being fucking assholes.
But I think that your decorum and stuff, like it's within the boundaries of your own team. I think that's like, don't do something that's going to get you a penalty. Don't do something that's going to get you kicked out. Don't do something that's going to embarrass the rest of the team. But you should be playing hard.
Yeah, of course. But that's like,
and the line gets blurred.
Precisely
sometimes.
What you said. If a kid did that, what Kennedy did, they might fucking get kicked out of the league. That's obviously another discussion.
Then that's a problem with the league.
Yeah, sure, that's another discussion. But they're at the minimum.
Like
at the bare minimum,
issue.
they're getting a technical as they did with
that's. And I'd say that's fine.
Yeah, that's
get it.
Yeah.
I don't mind you shoving a kid down. You're 9, 10 years old.
8 years old. You're fine with that.
I'm not putting an age on it. I said what if you're playing an 8, you're not playing competitive sports.
No, you are. You're playing travel. You're doing tournaments.
Sure. But like no one's grown to the point. Everybody's pretty. Obviously, there's better players and worse players, but like 8. I'm talking like
it's one of those things where I don't think it should be the coach should be saying something like, "Hey, like give that, like give him a little extra." Like I don't think
that should never ever come from the coach.
Right. But if the kid is just like wired like he's kind of a prick, I don't think that you should be like
coaching that out of him.
Correct.
No.
Because it's something that you just have.
No, if like I don't watch Caitlin Clark play basketball outside of what I see of her like on her highlights on the internet, which is I see a lot obviously because she's a huge story in sports right now. I don't like her because I think she's a flopper, and that bothers me. At my core, that bothers me. This wasn't that though. She got body checked, and I liked it. Like if I don't want to see when someone I forget who maybe Rutgers beat them, and they stormed the court, and this student, she wasn't trying to hurt her, and she's recording like looking at her phone, and happens to run into Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark just flopped all over the place. I lost a shitload of respect for her at that point.
I love Caitlin Clark too, because she is taking all the mud and all the slings and all the arrows, and she just keeps doing her job, and I love that too.
That's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
That's absolutely.
I think she's
fair.
handled all this and all the spotlight, everything.
She does seem to
handled
be
it
cut
awesome.
from like that Kobe cloth.
Yeah, like she can't be.
She feeds on it a little bit. Which I like.
I love her. I love her.
But the flopping, like I don't like that. But like
basketball.
Yeah, it's strategic at some point, though, Dave.
Yeah.
that which is bullshit.
But I'm just saying.
No, I'm sure that's not necessarily. But like, if she's that good,
Like
she shouldn't need to take advantage of that strategy.
I don't know. The objective is to win the game, and that helps you win the game.
Yeah, like every pro basketball player.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's an issue. I mean, they're starting to call that in college now. Like it had Boo Booey, love the guy, flopper. He got called a couple times this year. I think it's a warning and then a technical in college. But like I like that you can get penalized for trying to trick the referees basically because you flop all over
that's a thing in hockey too, embellishment.
Yeah.
So
it's
And that's all like drawing a charge is, really, is you're just standing in the guy's way and then flopping, and charges are seen as like a manly play. It's a flop.
Yeah.
I don't think the charges are necessarily always a flop.
Not always, but sometimes you just get in the guy's, especially like if you're in a post and you got a big post player, you just get in his way, let him throw his little
Just
shoulder,
move
you go,
because of like physics. He's gonna bump you around a little bit. That's fair.
I hate like soccer is the one that's guilty of this the most. Like I understand like having a flop to get a call, but like it's when you stay down and you're like, oh, I'm so hurt,
rolling around. Yeah.
Go down, get the call, get up, back up on your feet.
Mm-hmm. All right, we could wrap this up. It'll be too late. We're going to DraftKings tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're there, we'll see you there. We'll get into the series, I'm sure, next week, but give me your NHL and NBA finals prediction.
I think I'm going against the grain. So I think I'm taking Edmonton.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, everyone's on Florida. I think that the way that they're playing defensively, it's hard to change the way the game is played. Like if you're same thing in March Madness, like it's way easier to slow teams down than speed them up. So if they're so committed defensively and then McDavid can go and get them what they need offensively, I think you saw it in the end of that Dallas series, and I think they can do. Florida's better and a little bit tougher, but I think Edmonton can use that same formula pretty effectively if they get the goaltending from Skinner.
Okay, so you're going Oilers in
7. I think it's gonna be an awesome series.
NBA.
I think I'm going Dallas too.
Dallas in
7.
Okay, Dave, any predictions?
Edmonton, Dallas, Ed.
All right, I'm gonna go Florida in 5.
Whoa, yeah. Why?
No reason.
Okay, all right.
No reason. Barkov, really skilled team.
Barkov, Tkachuk, like Bennett, like they're loaded.
Yes, Bobrovsky time. Like
Bob, I do think the Oilers, the defenseman outside of Forsling's former Hawk great, shipped him off for nothing. He's incredible, but I think the Oilers' top 4 defensemen are better than the Panthers' top 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then I'm going Mavs in 7.
Okay.
I think that's gonna be a great series.
I think it is too. I'm very excited for that.
I'm pumped.
Starts Thursday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pumped for the Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I have never been so excited, Ed.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. We'll see you then.